Welcome, my friend.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Before we get into the video, I wanted to congratulate Chantel M for winning the Ahsoka Force FX Elite Lightsaber giveaway I had last year. I kept forgetting to post the photos of her and her prize. So once again, congratulations. I'll be doing another giveaway soon, so stay tuned. Now what if Anakin and Ahsoka fell in love? Before you get on my back, Padme was 14 when she met a 9-year-old Anakin Skywalker back on Tatooine. There's a 5-year distance between them, just like with Anakin and Ahsoka. When they first met in the Clone Wars movie, Ahsoka was 14 years old, and the Clone Wars movie took place in the same year as Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, which would put Anakin at 19 years old. This could profoundly impact the timeline, especially in the dynamics between Anakin and Ahsoka. The altered age gap between them would make their connection more plausible. The question arises, would Anakin still succumb to the dark side, or could he and Ahsoka potentially marry and start a family? It's crucial to note that Padme wasn't the sole reason for Anakin's fall to the dark side. His traumatic upbringing and experiences, including his mother's death, played a significant role. Anakin's life was marked by slavery, separation from his mother, and a series of tragic events that fueled his descent into darkness. For the purposes of this video, let's say that Anakin and Padme never fell in love. She could have been with Rush Clovis, or maybe she could have gotten together with Paulo, the artist that she spoke of in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. While Anakin and Ahsoka may not immediately start a romantic relationship due to Ahsoka's initial young age, their close bond was very strong. The divergence intensifies when Ahsoka is wrongfully accused of bombing the Jedi Temple. As a result, she's expelled from the Jedi Order. Anakin, deeply in love with Ahsoka, tirelessly seeks evidence to clear her name, eventually exposing the real culprit, her best friend, Barasafi. From this point, here's how I think things would go. With Ahsoka returning to the Jedi Order and granted the rank of Jedi Knight, the dynamics within the relationship shift. The emotional intensity of their shared experiences during the war deepens their connection. Anakin, having already formed a strong bond with Ahsoka during their time together, realizes that his feelings for her go beyond mere friendship or mentorship. As the war progresses, Anakin and Ahsoka find themselves relying on each other for support and understanding. Their shared victories and losses strengthen their emotional connection, laying the foundation for a romantic relationship. Anakin, initially conflicted by his Jedi responsibilities, struggles with the forbidden nature of his feelings. Ahsoka, on the other hand, begins to see Anakin not just as her mentor, but as someone she deeply cares about. During moments of respite between battles, Anakin and Ahsoka share personal conversations that transcend their roles as master and apprentice. Anakin finally opens up to Ahsoka about the pain of his past, the loss of his mother, and the fear of losing loved ones. Ahsoka, in turn, reveals her struggles and fears, forging an emotional intimacy between them. The turning point comes when Anakin and Ahsoka are assigned on a mission that takes them to a distant and serene planet. Away from the chaos of the war, they find solace in each other's company. Under the starlit sky, Anakin and Ahsoka share a vulnerable moment where unspoken feelings finally surface. Anakin, overwhelmed by the connection he feels with Ahsoka, confesses his emotions, and to his surprise, Ahsoka reciprocates. Their romance blossoms amid the challenges of the war, their love acting as a source of strength during the darkest times. Yet, they must keep their relationship hidden, aware of the Jedi Code's restrictions. Their secret meetings and stolen moments become a precious escape from the harsh reality of the war. As the conflict escalates, Anakin and Ahsoka's love deepens, but so does the danger. As the war rages on, Anakin and Ahsoka's secret romance becomes an anchor in the storm. Their stolen moments together serve as a refuge from the chaos and brutality of the conflict. In a pivotal mission to rescue Chancellor Palpatine, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka find themselves facing Count Dooku. The confrontation unfolds differently than the original timeline, with Kenobi and Ahsoka incapacitated by Dooku's attack. Anakin, fueled by a potent mix of fear and rage, defeats Dooku. After the Battle of Coruscant, Anakin has visions of Ahsoka's death. Anakin's growing fear for Ahsoka's safety becomes palpable, and he becomes increasingly desperate to find a way to protect her from his nightmares. Seeking guidance from Yoda, The wise Jedi Master warns Anakin about the dangers of attachment and the need to let go. Anakin, torn between his love for Ahsoka and his duty as a Jedi, struggles to find a balance. Meanwhile, Ahsoka senses the turmoil within Anakin, but her love for him blinds her to the depth of his eternal conflict. Anakin and Ahsoka were then dispatched to the war-torn planet of Mandalore with the 332nd Company at the request of Bo-Katan to rid Mandalore of Maul. The siege of Mandalore was imminent, and the Jedi were tasked with aiding Bo-Katan's forces in bringing an end to the violent civil war. As they arrived on the Mandalorian homeworld, the scars of conflict were evident. Ahsoka stood alongside Anakin, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. Maul, driven by his own agenda, sought to disrupt the plans of his former master, Darth Sidious. The confrontation with Maul was inevitable. Anakin and Ahsoka, accompanied by Captain Rex and their clone troopers, ventured into the heart of Mandalore's turmoil. As they faced the chaos of the battlefield, a sense of foreboding hung in the air. In the shadowy corridors of the Mandalorian throne room, Anakin and Ahsoka encountered Maul. The red-skinned Dathomirian, once a Sith Lord, now ruled over Mandalore with a savage determination.
You are the Jedi's chosen one, aren't you? The one meant to bring balance to the Force. But little do you know, your destiny is far darker than you realize.
Anakin exchanged a glance with Ahsoka, a sense of foreboding settling in their hearts. Maul, fueled by a desire to dismantle the Sith, decided to expose the secrets that hid in the shadows.
Don't you see, Skywalker? You are the key to everything. To destroy. You've long been groomed for your role as my master's new apprentice.
Ahsoka's eyes widened in disbelief, while Anakin's expression hardened. The revelation struck a nerve, awakening dormant fears and suspicions that had lingered in the back of Anakin's mind. The layers of deception orchestrated by Sidious unraveled before them, leaving a chilling truth in its wake.
You're lying!
Am I? You, Skywalker, are the key to Sidious's ultimate plan. He seeks to manipulate the Force itself, and you're the catalyst for his dark ambitions.
Who is Darth Sidious?
You mean you haven't figured it out? Sidious is masquerading as the Supreme Chancellor of your Republic.
As the weight of Maul's words settled, the air crackled with the inevitability of confrontation. Anakin's resolve hardened, and Ahsoka braced herself for the battle that loomed ahead. The clash of lightsabers echoed through the corridors of the throne room as Anakin and Ahsoka engaged Maul in a fierce duel. The Dathomirian wielded his crimson blade with deadly precision, while the Jedi fought with a determination fueled by the revelations that hung in the air. The battlefield transformed into a dance of blades, each strike and parry a testament to the conflicting destinies converging on Mandalore. Maul, driven by a vendetta against Sidious, sought to destroy the very apprentice the Sith Lord had invested so much in. Anakin, fueled by a mix of anger and uncertainty, faced Maul with a ferocity that mirrored his inner turmoil. Ahsoka, standing by his side, fought with a grace that belied her strength, determined to protect her master and uncover the truth hidden in the shadows. Maul's proficiency in combat pushed the Jedi to their limits. His dull-bladed lightsaber whirled with deadly precision, creating a symphony of clashes and sparks. Amidst the chaos, Maul continued to taunt Anakin, exploiting the vulnerabilities that festered within his heart.
You're a pawn in a game you can't comprehend, boy. Sidious has manipulated your fate from the very beginning.
The weight of Maul's revelations bore down on him, but he refused to be swayed. With each swing of his lightsaber, Anakin sought to dispel the darkness that threatened to consume him. When the duel reached its zenith and after the clones and Bo-Katan's forces overwhelmed Maul's commandos, Maul would have no choice but to retreat. Before he could, he would be detained by the clones and the Mandos. Anakin and Ahsoka would then report to Master Yoda and the others, confirming Maul's capture. Afterwards, Master Yoda remained on the line.
Ahsoka, young Skywalker, more to say, have you?
Anakin and Ahsoka hesitated in answering, but it had to come out.
Maul told us something that's troubling.
He told us that Chancellor Palpatine is a Sith Lord, and that he's been grooming Anakin since he was a child.
Yoda was in shock and didn't even know what to say.
Return to the Jedi Temple immediately with Maul. You must. Leaving Kashyyyk now. I am. Invoke an emergency meeting of the Council. I will. Hurry, you must.
Anakin and Ahsoka hurriedly made their way back to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, the weight of Maul's revelation pressing upon them. Upon arriving at the temple, Anakin and Ahsoka were directed to the council chamber. Yoda, Mace Windu, and the other members of the Jedi Council were awaiting their report. Anakin took a deep breath, bolstering himself before recounting the events on Mandalore and Maul's revelation about Darth Sidious.
Troubling. This news is. Investigate further. We must.
The urgency of the situation demanded swift action. An emergency meeting was convened, and the council reached a unanimous decision to confront Chancellor Palpatine. Obi-Wan, returning from his mission on Utapau, entered the chamber with a concerned expression. The urgency in the room was evident as Yoda recounted the events on Mandalore and the revelation about Darth Sidious.
The Sith Lord. Palpatine may be. Dangerous times these are. Confront Palpatine. We must. Remain here. Ahsoka will. Skywalker, Kenobi, Windu. Accompany me you shall.
In the dimly lit office of Chancellor Palpatine, the air was thick with tension. The Jedi approached, lightsabers hidden beneath their robes. Palpatine looked up from his desk.
Master Jedi, I take it General Grievous has been destroyed then. I must say you're here sooner than expected.
Yoda, choosing his words carefully, responded.
Troubling revelations. We have heard. Explain. You must.
Palpatine's facade wavered for a moment, but he quickly regained his composure.
Revelations, you say? I am but a humble servant of the Republic.
We captured Maul, and he claims you're the Sith Lord we've been looking for, the one who orchestrated the war from the start. He also claimed you've been grooming me to be your apprentice from the start.
Maul is a deceiver. Do not let his lies cloud your judgment, Anakin. I've been like a father to you all your life.
We need the truth, Chancellor.
In a sudden surge of power, Palpatine's facade crumbled entirely. With a malevolent grin, he unleashed a torrent of Sith lightning, catching the Jedi off guard. The office became a battleground as lightsabers clashed against the dark side of the Force. In the midst of the chaos, the truth became undeniable. Palpatine, revealed in his true Sith form, fought with a ferocity that sent shockwaves through the Jedi. Ahsoka remained at the Jedi Temple, haunted by the revelations of Maul and the impending confrontation with the Chancellor. Ahsoka sought solace in meditation. The Force guided her thoughts, revealing glimpses of the unfolding drama. She sensed the clash of lightsabers and the surge of power. The lightsaber duel raged on in Palpatine's office, a battleground where the fate of the galaxy teetered on a precipice. The room crackled with the intensity of clashing lightsabers and the malevolent hum of Sith lightning. Anakin, torn between his loyalty to the Jedi and the influence of Palpatine, hesitated on the sidelines. The conflict within him mirrored the physical turmoil unfolding before his eyes. Mace Windu, with his unique mastery of Vapad, channeled the dark side energy unleashed by Palpatine. The battle between the two titans reached a fevered pitch, lightsabers dancing in a chaotic symphony. Yoda, agile and wise, engaged Palpatine with a graceful finesse that defied his small stature. Obi-Wan, resolute in his commitment to the light side, pressed forward with measured strikes. Anakin, witnessing the magnitude of the struggle, felt the weight of his choices bearing down on him. The dark allure of Palpatine's promises clashed with the loyalty instilled in him by the Jedi Order. As the duel intensified, Palpatine's malevolence grew. In a sudden surge of dark power, he unleashed a torrent of Sith lightning, catching Mace Windu off guard. The Jedi Master, despite his unparalleled skills, faltered under the onslaught. Anakin, unable to bear witness to Windu's impending demise, intervened. His lightsaber ignited and he deflected the Sith lightning back at Palpatine. The Dark Lord recoiled, his face contorted with rage. In a surge of determination, Anakin moved decisively. With a swift stroke of his lightsaber, he severed the hand that unleashed the Sith lightning. The room plunged into a sudden silence as Palpatine, disarmed and defeated, stared at Anakin with a mixture of shock and fury. Mace Windu, though wounded, rose from the floor. As the Jedi secured Palpatine, the reality of the Sith Lord's manipulations became apparent. The Clone Wars, orchestrated by Darth Sidious, had served as a means to an end. The galaxy, trapped in a web of deceit, now faced the task of rebuilding. News of Chancellor Palpatine's arrest spread like wildfire throughout the Galactic Republic. Yoda, accompanied by Mace Windu, brought the shackled Sith Lord before the Senate chambers. The atmosphere within the Senate was charged with tension and uncertainty.
Citizens of the Republic, come to light. Grave developments have. The Sith Lord, Chancellor Palpatine, orchestrated the Clone Wars from its inception. He has.
A murmur of disbelief swept through the Senate. Palpatine, flanked by Senate guards, wore a stoic facade, his eyes cold and calculating. Mas Amedda, the vice chair of the Senate, and Sly Moore, a close advisor, stepped forward to defend Palpatine.
This is a Jedi plot. The Chancellor has been a beacon of stability in these troubled times. The Jedi seek to undermine the Republic and take over.
Amedda's voice resonated through the chamber. Yoda, undeterred, motioned for holographic evidence to be presented. A series of holo-recordings displayed Palpatine's secret communications with Separatist leaders, his orchestration of key battles, and his manipulation of both sides in the war. As the evidence unfolded, a chilling silence descended upon the Senate. The holographic recordings revealed the truth of Palpatine's deceit. The Senate was completely outraged and shocked. The Senate, faced with irrefutable evidence, turned against Palpatine. Calls for justice resonated through the chamber, drowning out the feeble protests of Amedda and more. In a climactic moment, the Senate passed a unanimous vote to strip Palpatine of his powers and place him under arrest. The guards seized the former Chancellor, and the once mighty Sith Lord now stood powerless before the Senate he had manipulated for years. Mas Amedda and Sly Moore would also be arrested for their association with Palpatine. Mon Mothma would step in as the new Chancellor of the Republic, with Padme Amidala as her vice chair and Bail Organa as her advisor. In the aftermath of the political upheaval, Mon Mothma addressed the Senate and the citizens of the Republic.
The war, fueled by deceit and manipulation, has come to an end. We stand united, rebuilding what was broken and forging a path towards a brighter future.
The newly formed leadership worked tirelessly to restore order and justice. The Jedi were recognized for their unwavering commitment to the Republic. With the war officially over, the Jedi Order would focus on healing and rebuilding. The wounds inflicted by the Clone Wars ran deep, but the Jedi were determined to honor their commitment to the Force. In a quiet ceremony on Coruscant, surrounded by friends and allies, Anakin and Ahsoka exchanged vows. The galaxy, now free from the shackles of war, witnessed the union of two souls who had faced trials and emerged stronger together. Anakin would also be promoted to Jedi Master. In the years that followed, Anakin and Ahsoka embraced a new chapter of their lives. Their love blossomed, and eventually, they welcomed children into their family. The Force-sensitive offspring inherited the legacy of their parents, becoming the next generation of Jedi. The Jedi Order, revitalized by the lessons learned from the past, embraced a more balanced approach to the Force. The rigid dogmas that had once defined the Order underwent transformation, and a spirit of adaptability and understanding prevailed. As the children of Anakin and Ahsoka grew, guided by the wisdom of their parents and the teachings of the reformed Jedi Order, they became beacons of hope for the galaxy that had emerged from the shadows of conflict. I appreciate you for watching my video, and I hope you dropped a like on it. For those who may have negative comments, just remember Anakin and Padme had the same age gap, especially when they first met. He was 9 and she was 14. Throughout the Clone Wars series, Anakin and Ahsoka develop a strong sense of camaraderie, trust, and mutual respect. Anakin often shows concern for Ahsoka's well-being and growth, while Ahsoka looks up to Anakin as a role model. Their dynamic becomes particularly evident during challenging missions and personal moments where they support and understand each other. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this in the future. Thank you again for watching, and may the Force be with you.